Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jason Mackey's First 10, a short version podcast talking all things Pittsburgh sports. Today is Thursday, October 24th, and it's a game day in Pittsburgh. The Pitt Panthers against the Syracuse Orange tonight at Acrisure Stadium. Can't wait. Going to talk about that a decent amount on the podcast, but have a couple other topics I want to hit on. A little bit of Steelers, a little bit of college football outside of this area, but with some local ties. You may have seen a column on that. Allen Greene, Pitt's new AD, met with the media, maybe even a little Penguin stuff. We'll see. Anyway, first want to remind you that we're sponsored by Edgar Snyder and Associates. If you're injured in an accident, you're probably wondering what's next. For over 40 years, Edgar Snyder and Associates has helped injury victims answer that question. Whether it's gathering evidence, collecting medical records, or dealing with insurance companies, Edgar Snyder and Associates has helped over 75,000 people handle what's next. Call 1-800-94-EDGAR or visit edgarsnyder.com for a free consultation. And remember, there's never a fee unless they get money for you. All right, so big one. Been waiting for this one. Night college football, yes, please. Number 19 Pitt, 6-0, 2-0 against Syracuse, 5-1, 2-1. We'll see where it goes from here, right? Pitt 6-0 for the first time since 1982. In 1982, they opened with 7 consecutive wins. Can Pitt get their 7th consecutive win? I think they can, but it won't be easy. Pitt has played very well on Thursday nights, by the way. They won their last 5 on Thursday night, going back to 2019, 4 of those coming in Pittsburgh. What's the biggest storyline? What's the biggest question in this game? I don't know about for you. For me, it's what happens to Eli Holstein in the offense. Do they go back to, was maybe there a formula figured out by Cal? I don't think there was. But did the Golden Bears do something that, maybe can be put on tape, maybe can be mimicked by Syracuse, whatever? Again, I don't think so, but we'll find out. Holstein has been lights out this entire season, right? But was just 14 of 28, 133 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks. In addition to spreading the ball around, I've really liked the accountability that he's taken. For a young guy, it's very, very mature. And he talked about that one afterwards, saying, he forced some things, has to change the process around this, that, and the other. How does he do it? What does that look like against Syracuse? Again, very eager to see. I think the offense does bounce back, but we're talking about a group that has averaged 40.8 points per game. It was off its game against Cal. They still got the win, but is this more the group that, is setting school records for scoring versus what we saw last week? And I do think that's going to be the case. So against Syracuse, inside the series, Pitt has done very well. They've won 18 of the past 22, although they lost last year 28-13, a game played at Yankee Stadium. Another thing I want to look at, Desmond Reed and Rodney Hammond Jr. talked about this maybe 2 weeks ago, something like that. But, they need to figure out a balance for Desmond Reed to not run him into the ground. They need to find a way to get Rodney Hammond Jr. a bigger role, have them complement one another, etc. So I'll be curious to see how Pitt does that with another week, another defense to go up against. And, well, let's flip it around and talk about the defense for a second. This will not be easy, I don't think, even though Syracuse is going to be missing 2 of its top pass-catching targets. Kyle McCord, talked about him yesterday, Ohio State transfer. They put it in the air a lot. It's been pretty effective for them. McCord leads the ACC in pass attempts, completions, and interceptions. But, again, like I said, they could be very likely will be without their 2 best wide receivers, Trebor Pena and Yazid Haynes. So if you would, theoretically, that's an advantage for the Panthers. We'll see if it plays out as such. All right, going to take our first break, or our mid-roll break, a little bit earlier today. I want to get back on the other side and talk about my column and some local hooks under the best story in college football, as well as some Steelers and Penguins topics. Be right back after this message from the Bradenton Area Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Embrace the laid-back charm of island life while sinking your toes in the sand and discovering real, authentic Florida in the Bradenton area. Unspoiled beauty and pristine beaches, a vibrant waterfront downtown energized by local arts and culture, fresh Floridian cuisine with a flourish of rich history, and friendly locals ready to welcome you to this preserved paradise on Florida's Gulf Coast. Plan your visit today at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
And welcome back to First Town. I'm your host, Jason Mackey. We're here middle of the morning, Monday through Friday, for about 10 minutes, bouncing around, talking about a bunch of different things in Pittsburgh sports. And, well, this doesn't necessarily apply to Pittsburgh sports, but it has some Pittsburgh hooks. We're talking about Pitt a few minutes ago, and 2 Pitt alums are leading the Indiana Hoosiers to a tremendous season, and the head coach is a name that everybody should know well, Curt Cignetti. Curt Cignetti. That sounded like I said Kirk. He is not Captain Kirk. It is Curt. But that's where ESPN's College Game Day will be on Saturday in Bloomington, Indiana. How cool is this? They're 7-0, and Indiana has just been, bad. Absolutely bad. I'm going to pull up their record from the past couple of seasons. 3-9 last year. Obviously not good. Let me vamp for a second as I pull up the 9-27, 3-24 over the past 3 years. 3-24 in the Big Ten. That's how down Indiana football has been. And all of a sudden, Curt Cignetti, again, got his start at IUP. It's been at Elon, James Madison, stops at Pitt, Alabama, all over the place. But he turned James Madison into a winner and goes from JMU to Indiana and brings Tino Sunseri and Mike Shanahan, two Pitt products, with him. And they're co-offensive coordinators. And Indiana is scoring through the roof. Their defense has been really good. They've done everything right. They use the transfer portal just like a lot of different teams, and it's just been such a cool story. They have guys putting up numbers, some from JMU, some from other schools. Justice Ellison is one, 514 on 73 carries. Tyson Lawton, a JMU transfer. Watch them. It'll be worth it. I'm intrigued by it. I've seen some. I didn't realize it was the magnitude of this, but I was just going around college football, doing some reading, researching, texting with Noah Hiles, texting with our sports editor, Ryan Wynn, about some directions to take a college football column. And I ended up going all in on the Indiana stuff, and I was just amazed by it. So give that a read. Not the primary topic, but neat to see some local hooks into that. Ray Fittipaldo wrote something I wanted to talk about briefly about two rookies that have been, I should say Ray and Brian did it, but Ray's was Peyton Wilson. And I think it's a good step back right now to sort of think about, one, what the Steelers did in the draft, and two, what Peyton Wilson can become. Peyton Wilson, 36 tackles, fourth most on the team, most of any rookie linebacker, second most of any rookie behind a guy we're going to see on Monday Night Giants safety, Tyler Nubin. This is what we expected from, I'm going to say Bryce Wilson. I'm sorry. That's Peyton Wilson's brother, baseball player. I've gotten so used to covering Bryce with the Pirates. Peyton Wilson. We'll try to actually refer to him as the first name. He's played just over a little 50% of the snaps, and he's making a lot of stuff happen. He was really good in the Steelers' last game Sunday against the Jets. His athleticism has been off the charts. It's been extremely noticeable. He's a productive player. He's a smart kid. He's a good kid. I've talked to him dating back to OTAs, minicamp, all that stuff. And he really has earned the respect of veterans on the defense. Alex Highsmith, Patrick Queen, Landon Roberts, they love this kid, and I can see why. He's that kid in your workplace that he doesn't say too much. He's young. I don't want to say realizes his place, but doesn't walk around like he owns the place, but at the same time has a lot of questions. He's very interested. He's very passionate and wanting to be great. And so far, it's been cool to see him do that. And I know this is sort of a bigger picture point, and I know that the draft class kind of looks funky right now because guys are out, Frazier, Troy Fautanu, but this has the potential to be really, really good. Roman Wilson has not gotten on the field yet. I know that's another one, but I'm not giving up hope there. I'm guessing you are not either. I really liked what I saw out of Fautanu early. I think Zach Frazier is absolutely a keeper. Mason McCormick has been starter capable, as Mike Tomlin might say, at guard. And Beanie Bishop, obviously not a draft pick, but an undrafted free agent signed after, picks off two passes against Aaron Rodgers. I thought that was a huge bounce back after what happened to him against the Raiders. The point being, this has a chance to be a really, really good and important group, and can't wait to see them grow together. All right, Allen Greene want to offer a couple thoughts on that. The big question, Stephen Thompson and Christopher Carter wrote about in their lead is why Pitt? What attracted him here? Well, one thing that I think is interesting about Greene coming to Pitt is the Panthers need something that he has. They need somebody that ups their NIL game, that gets more money in here, that better connects them with 412 Alliance, better connects them with donors, with people on the outside to raise funds. Greene said in his opening remarks or his meeting with the media that he never asks for money. And I get where he's coming from on that, but they still need to get money. They need to get more money. And that's something Jeff Capel said pretty blatantly, by the way, which is a bit sideways, but still a very good point. Capel was not shy about saying they need to up their NIL game via money. Won't disagree, but this is something that Greene knows. This is something that he's done, has a finance background, has spent time at big SEC schools. And I know that's sort of what Chancellor Joan Gable talked about, somebody with having the right financial acumen. I get that, but that's what intrigues me here. Like it's the idea of your skill set. You can pick that up and help somebody with a need. He knows what he's doing in this realm. So it makes sense there. And then if you look at Pitt in totality, I mean, it should be a premium academic and athletic university anywhere in the country. Like there shouldn't be some like, oh, Pitt, you're cute. No, it shouldn't be. Look at our city. Look at the number of notable alums, athletic success, academic achievements, all this stuff. Like it shouldn't be treated as some second-rate school. No, I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying it's probably not reaching its potential with donors, with athletic funding, with NIL, with prominence, all that stuff. Like there's winning. That's great. And Heather Lyke should be commended for that. But I think there's a next level to reach that I think requires money, requires connectedness, requires pride in Pitt, that sort of thing. And I think Allen Greene understands that. At least that's been my takeaway, and I'm curious to see what he does with it. All right, that does it for us today time-wise. Had some stuff I didn't get to, but we'll always have tomorrow. We can talk about it then. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can get all of this content and so much more in this space from our other Post-Gazette writers and columnists, and we'll be back tomorrow for the usual Q&A episode. Thanks so much for watching First 10, everybody.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.